Hear, hear, the battle rages on, and power to the majority, because as you say, they want it to stay the same. We want it to stay the same. Unfortunately, entrepreneur and former Australian of the Year Dick Smith has joined the cohort of people saying it shouldn't be on Jan 6. He says, I think we could have this first Fleet Day and also change the date of Australia Day to something else that's more inclusive. But I don't know what that date would be. Wow, that's compelling and rich, Dick Smith. That's the problem with these change the date people. They can never actually come up with a more suitable date, can they, Saxon?
Not at all. And I'm not in favour of changing the date or the name of Australia Day because it's actually conceding ground to these activists who don't want to celebrate Australia whatsoever. You can't concede ground. We must remain it on January 26th as the majority of Australians wish it to be.
Well said. Every capitulation to the left emboldens it. That's one of my mottos, and people need to learn that because one capitulation simply leads to the next. Now, Dick Smith says he first suggested this in 1986. So he's been a long-term campaigner of change, Tanya. How much longer until you think this dispute is resolved?
Can I just say, I don't actually recall Dick Smith making that announcement in 1986-87. But I do recall that, look, Dick Smith's been passionate about Australia-made products. He's been a beneficiary of actually selling Aussie-made, Vegemite and Aussie-made tomato sauce. I actually remember him advertising that on Australia Day and around Australia Day in the late 1990s. So he certainly knew how to make a couple of dollars on the back of Australia-made merchandise. And I've got to say, I don't know if First Fleet tomato sauce or First Fleet barbecue marinade is an appetising.
Doesn't have the same ring.
Doesn't have the same ring, does it? So he certainly knows himself that that First Fleet probably won't sell, and I don't think anyone's buying it. So look, I think we're going to see this sort of debate every year, unfortunately. Okay, and I think we've just got to get used to people coming up with this idea that every year let's change the date. And we've just got to get past it and just move on. The vast majority of Australians today went out and enjoyed Australia Day.
They had barbecues with their
mates. Absolutely. They're still out there having a drink down at the harbour and enjoying themselves. So that's what matters, I think. I think the vast majority of Australians are enjoying Australia Day.
The vast majority of Australians do have their heads screwed on.